Well, good morning, good morning. We are gathering for coffee with Casper. We're trusting our little systems are working. They're queuing up. Here comes the Casper dog. He wants to say hi. Don't spill my coffee. Come here. Here you go. There's the Casper boy. He's up and at it already. He's up and at it. They said, look at everybody over here. Who's this? Who's that over there? Who's that? Who's that? There's a pretty face. There's a handsome boy. There's a Casper dog, eh? Good morning. We're gathering with coffee with Casper. We're hoping everything. Let me check this out, pal. Hang on. Hang on. Here we go. We're trying to see if we're there. We are live with Coffee with Casper. We're on Facebook. I trust we're on YouTube. Let me know where you are. We're glad to see. Hi there, Ardelia. Nice to see you this morning. Good morning, good morning. Let me know where you're coming in from. We're about to start in about 1 minute. David from Boise. Hey, Dave, how are you, pal? Nice to see you. Hey, good morning from Boise. All righty. We are gathering for Coffee with Casper. It must be Tuesday. Here we go. About 1 minute to go, and we'll gong ourselves in here. Hi, Loretta. Good morning. Casper and Mountain are indeed here. They're down hanging around somewhere, doing their dog thing. All right. Casper loves to come up and say hello. You saw that. He instantly comes up. Hola! Aloha from Honolulu, and welcome, welcome. Good to see you this morning. Good morning. We're about ready to roll. How's everybody doing? Getting ready for the Thanksgiving season here in the United States. I think it happened a week or two ago in Canada. But it's good to be grateful. Any old day of the week is a good time to be grateful. All righty. From Northern California. Ardelia's in Northern California this morning. Good morning. From Albuquerque, New Mexico. Good morning, Deborah. Good to see you this morning. All right, here we go. It hit 8:30. We're going to We're going to gong ourselves in. Push the buzzer and away we go. We're going to gong ourselves in. So let's everybody just let's take a moment. Take a breath in. Find your center. Let's take another breath in. We'll let it sound awe. Let the body relax. Another deep cleansing breath. And simply allow your breath to come up into your heart center. Your awareness to come into your heart. Little heart-centered awareness for 20 minutes. And we're gathering with Coffee with Casper. Good morning from North Carolina. And so last week we were talking about the problem with you is not me. I am not the source of your problem, and you are not the source of the world's problems. This is where the master teacher Jesus spoke often about, I am in the world but not of it. Now, as metaphysicians, what we know is that we are threefold beings, that we have a spiritual aspect of our dimension, which is permanent. We have the soul aspect of our being, which is permanent, which is born in the image and likeness of the One. And then we have the body, the experience that we are in, which is a combination of the sum total of everything we've ever thought, said, done, or felt, and the intentions that we've created that have brought forth, through the law of the circle, that which we put out comes back to us. And this is the experience that we have earned so far. Meaning, good morning, Reginald from Arizona. Good to see you this morning. Glad you are healing well. That's the good news. Good morning from Hollywood. Beautiful, glamorous Hollywood. So this idea of spirit, soul, and body being effect, and this is one of the great gifts that the philosopher Ernest Holmes brought forward. What did you do? You scared yourself by the knocking over something, huh, Casper? You okay? Come up, say hi. You want to say hi? Yeah, it was a freak out. That's right. It was a doggy freak out. That's right. He's busy playing over there. One of the great gifts that Ernest Holmes, the philosopher, brought forth from the last century was this idea of the descent of spirit into form, that we begin as spirit, we become conscious beings, and that creates the law of the circle. That's what we have earned. We have ascended to the point of self-consciousness. Not only do I think, but I can think about what I think about. And of course that changes the rate of evolution, because the high self can evolve us faster than the race. Meaning we belong to the race, we're connected to the race, but we are not limited by the race. And we remind you that you came into the world to bring more light. Each one of us here on Coffee with Casper are light workers. We are people who have become aware of ourselves as spiritual beings. Knowing that we're spiritual beings, we now reach up to Spirit and work in alignment with Spirit, meaning I am in the world, but I am from this other dimension. The sum total of my awareness brings me into this body, into this experience, and allows me to contribute to that which is the physical plane. And in this case, what we know in our day is we are not only working toward the ancient prayer. The ancient prayer is peace on earth and goodwill to all humankind, right? And now we're aware that it's a unity thing, that the planet itself is alive, and that we need to work with the planet as well, just as the Native Americans have known for years. We are part of the web of life. We are not the creators of the web of life. So when we begin to function from this awareness that I am more than I appear to be, and we begin to draw from these other dimensions of ourselves consciously, and we do that, as we talk about all the time, through our daily prayers and meditations. We set the attitudes that we're going to bring to the day, and therefore that we're going to bring to the law of circle, therefore what's going to come out from us and what's going to come back to us, yes? So here again, I just, as we mentioned, I went traveling. I've been in the world, and we realized the world through the pandemic has gone through a huge egoic shift. We all had to let go of some aspect of what our ego craved and adjust to the fact that humanity was facing a crisis together all around the world, and begin to bring our attention how we could bring our light, our awareness of who and what we are into the world to help heal and uplift and bring forth a greater awareness of unity in the human condition. Once we get that critical mass of unity conscious aware of the interconnectedness of all life, we will begin to see the mass of humanity begin to make new choices toward harmony, toward peace, toward that which brings more life. In the meantime, you and I do not want to be waiting for that. We want to be the place where we are already bringing those qualities into our lives, so that we are not limited by the race, but we are contributing to uplift the race, right? There's no reason for me to suffer in order to help the suffering. The best way for me to help the suffering is for me to become in tune, alive, awake, and aware, and then carry that attitude with me wherever I go. I am in the world, certainly, but I am not of the world. I am born in the image and likeness of the One. I am that Christ. I am that Atman. I am that Buddha. I am the whole self, the perfection of the divine, brought into expression, left free to discover who and what I am. And again, this pathway is not that challenging because it begins with what's happening in our mind. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he, right? So as a human thinks in their total awareness, that awareness comes out into our experience. And again, we are blessed. Everyone here who watches Coffee with Casper has become aware of the unity of all life, become aware that they are directly connected to life, become aware that my consciousness is not separate from the world, my consciousness is contributing in the world. And this is where we need to hold the course. We need to be steady on. And instead of, if we have been through the pandemic frightened, freaked out, afraid, not sure what's true, all of those things that happen to everybody, we now return to our center, know what our guiding values are. I wrote a statement years and years ago, and my primary values are spirituality, love, wisdom, learning, quality, service, and friendship. spirituality, love, wisdom, learning, quality, service, and friendship. Those values are core to me, and therefore I must, in the midst of whatever the storms of life are, I must center myself in those values and hold the course that those values point to, and create my goals and dreams and desires that are in alignment with my personal values. The more I align with my personal values and carry those values into the world, the more that it looks like magic is happening in my life. And we all deserve the magic of good fortune, the magic of creativity, the magic of love, the magic of joy, the magic of freedom. Health and wealth and success are normal, and we can begin to move in the direction of our intentions, that which will bring us health, wealth, love, and success. Yes? And again, based on I am one with the race, but I am not limited by the race. As our friend, the great Reverend Dr. Michael Beckwith has said for years and years, the newspaper is just the prayer list of society. These are the areas that need our prayers, that need our attention, that need our focus, right? And we're in a world right now that is so busy dividing itself that we need to be a place where we're not divided, where you can have your opinion and I can have mine, and we can still love and support each other. You can see it red and I can see it blue, or blue and red, or black and white, or whatever the colors are, and everybody belongs. Every race, every creed, every religion, my path to God is no better than anybody else's path to God. The question is, am I on my path to the realization of who and what I am? And everybody can find their way, whatever religion, whatever tradition, whatever path, whatever practices. But what we know is that God is pretty simple, God is pretty immediate, God is pretty available. And if it brings more life, it's going to bring more life to you. If it brings fear, anger, depression, and upsetness, it'll bring that to you. All depending on where we're putting our attention. Now, sometimes, if we've been depressed or we've been freaked out, we need to really, really focus to bring our attention back. And what that means is disciplined. I need to be disciplined with my meditations. I need to be disciplined with my prayers and affirmations. As my friend, the Reverend Dr. David Fear says, that follow that map: meditations, affirmations, and prayer. That's the map that will take me closer and closer to my high self. The more I live in tune with my high self, the more I recognize and realize and bring forth the glory of the Most High. Good morning, Jeff from North Carolina. Good morning, Dawn from Burbank area. Good morning, everybody. Nice to see you all here this morning. We're glad you're here. Feel free to put your comments up. Let me know where you are. You're watching Coffee with Casper. As you know, Coffee with Casper, we don't ask for donations. We don't ask for anything other than if you find something valuable in what has now been hundreds, maybe 180, 90, a lot of episodes of Coffee with Casper. If you find something of value, tell people about it. Get them to go look on YouTube, search for Coffee with Casper, search for Harry Morgan Moses, search for these ideas, and every one of them born in the moment that we're doing. That's why we do them live every week, so that we're aware of what's happening in the world and also aware of what each of us needs to do in order to not only feel good, but to feel good about my living my life in purpose fulfilled. And all that we need to do to live our life in purpose fulfilled is decide that we're making a contribution, that we're making a contribution to humanity and to the earth. And then we figure out, each of us, our unique way of doing that. And these events in the world are not personal. So I want to remind you, we talked last week about Wayne Dyer and that realization that just because somebody honked at me doesn't mean I'm the source of their problem. I am not the source of your problem, right? And when we begin to become aware of that, then we don't have to participate in the anger and the upsetness and the volatility that is so present in the world at the moment. And so the greatest thing that we could do with volatility and anger and upsetness is bring that healing balm of peace and poise and confidence and connectivity, being consciously connected to the I am that I am, to my high self. Again, through my meditations, affirmations, and prayers, I keep my right attitudes in place so that I can be a beneficial presence in the world. Yes? And this is a wonderful opportunity. So I want to remind you of another teacher, Don Miguel Ruiz. And Don Miguel Ruiz brought forth a wisdom called the Toltec wisdom. And as I have shared, I knew Don when he first started to bring that material to the world. In fact, he came to my center in San Diego. And when he first shared those 4 agreements, and I'll remind them, we've only got a few minutes, but I'll remind you basically what the 4 agreements are. The first agreement is be impeccable with your word, meaning understand that what's coming out of your mouth is a creative expression, whatever it is. So if it's filled with rage and anger and upsetness, that's a creative expression. If it's filled with love and joy and compassion and belonging, then that's a creative expression. But your word is the law of your own life. What's coming out of your mouth creates the law of your life. That's where the law of the circle is, listening to everything you think, say, feel, and do, and responding by bringing it back to you. The law of mind is impeccable. So we need to be impeccable with our word, right? That whatever we say, we mean, and if we say something we don't mean, we take it back and change our mind and express what we do mean, right? Be impeccable with your word. The next one was don't take it personally, and that's where I'm going to spend a little time, but we'll come back to that. The third agreement is don't make assumptions. Like the example I used the other day while talking to another group was, you call your friend and they didn't call you back. And you think, oh, did I upset them? Are they mad at me? Did I do something wrong? You make all kinds of assumptions. Probably their phone wasn't charged, and they just haven't heard the voicemail yet, right? So we don't need to make assumptions about anything. We can know what is true and extrapolate from what's happening in the now moment, but not extrapolate in the wrong directions by making assumptions about things that may or may not be unfolding, yes? And the last one is always do your best. Well, if you're born in the image and likeness of wholeness and your nature is wholeness and you're an instrument of the divine, why wouldn't you do your best, right? But here's the one I want to go back to, and this is where I'm in the world and not of it is highly relevant. The one is don't take it personally. And this is where I had a problem way back then, and I've taught the course a few times in these 4 agreements and really spent time on them. But don't take it personally, the way that I translate that, because when we learn something, as you know, I've been teaching forgiveness and practicing forgiveness consciously for many, many years. And we don't believe in that expression of forgive and forget, right? I mean, we forgive and we remember the lessons that we learned through whatever that lack of forgiveness created from us. And we move forward and we don't put ourselves in those situations again. So to not take it personally means, to me, says, don't take the lessons of your life into your heart. Well, I believe you should. So this is the way I look at that agreement, don't take it personally, which is, it's not about me, right? That other person's upsetness is not about me. The newspaper and all the things that might be scary in the newspaper, it's not about me. This is not about me. This is about what's happening in the world and what I'm going to do about it. How am I going to be with it, right? So whenever somebody is upset at you, if you made a mistake, you're still okay. What if you made a mistake? Well, I could have done that better. Oops, I made a mistake. I'm beautiful, I'm capable, and I'm moving forward. We don't need to be stuck, yes? We can be unstuck and not take it personally, knowing that whatever the circumstance is that I'm being drawn into is not about me. And when we begin to get that objectivity, then we begin to see how the law of quantum physics, the observer affects the experiment. If I can not make it about me, then I'm already objectifying the event, and I'm already being able to create some space where I can make choices separate from whatever event, even if I'm immersed in it. How do I find my center? How do I stay centered? And if we got off center, what's wrong with just resetting the course? I pause. I realized I was off center. I pause, and I find out where I want to go, what I intend to be, how do I intend to be, and I return to my own course. And each one of us is free to establish that course and to walk in that course. What's happening in the world is not about you. It's about what you can be about what's happening in the world. And so right now, with all of this volatility and upsetness, let us focus on being a place of peace, of being a place of harmony, of being a place of contentedness. Finding that breath, breathing that breath, living in a natural state of harmony, and bringing that natural state of harmony through our map, our meditations, affirmations, and prayers, bringing those forward in the way we are in the world. Peace be unto thee, stranger, right? You are welcome in my space. And that's an attitude that we can each assume and that we must each find daily. As I say, don't get out of bed until you can greet the day. This is your day. This is your week. This is your chance to shine the light in your world in your unique way. You're watching Coffee with Casper. We're glad you've been here with us this morning. And what we know is that as you decide to center yourself in your own values and rediscover and reconnect consciously to what they are, I gave you my list: spirituality, love, wisdom, learning, quality, service, and friendship. What are yours? What are your top 7 values, and how are you going to carry them forward and stay that course in a world that needs you to be that place where peace and harmony and light and love are shining in you and as you and through you? You are something spectacular because you're here, because you're aware of these ideas, and because you're carrying them into the world. So I bless you, I honor you. We'll be back next week with Coffee with Casper. And until we meet again, we invite you to go in the light, as the light, and with the light. May the long-time sun shine upon you. All love surround you, and the pure light within you guide you on your way. Casper, come up, say goodbye. Casper, come on. Why are you eating my plants again? Come on. Sometimes he's just a puppy. He's 2 already. Casper is 2. My goodness. We'll see you next week on Coffee with